Hello, Internet. Welcome to Not Game Theory. Sorry, I tricked you there. One of these days, I'm going to get a sternly worded message from MatPat when I do that, and warning me not to do it again. But,
You're not allowed to do this again. Game over. If you copy me one more time, I swear.
well, one more time, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to theory you into the ground.
I'm gonna give a new theory. How long can the human mind last before true influence influences them?
Hey, if I had 1/5 of MatPat's subscribers, I'd be happy, but we don't. So,
There you go.
unless you subscribed, dear viewer, like and subscribe after the video, and comment. But anyways, welcome to the midweek. I'm Nick. Over here providing the gameplay as always is Justin, our cameraman entertainment dash.
Existence
So,
one
yeah.
that goes and does the beginnings of the ends. There you go.
Yep. So,
What we doing today?
I'm eating and drinking in the background.
You
Not
fool.
because it's rude for you, ladies and gentlemen, but my throat has been a bit off, so. Chocolate and orange juices. Well, not exactly the most pleasant combination. Maybe not for you, but for me. Something to soothe it. So before I say anything, one second. Okay, so today we are talking about sitting there just being like, say something, dang it. Today we're talking about Mass Effect, as you may have guessed from the video topic. Specifically, Mass Effect. What was it? 6, 3, 4, 5. We're on 5 now.
Yes. We're not putting like a random name in front of it this time. Oh.
Mass Effect: The New Awakening, or something.
Yes.
And that one had
unlocked
panning
one.
reviews. The unlocked one. Which basically Mass Effect Andromeda is a grand game of galactic colonization. Yay! And you're the colonizer, ready to start stamping on.
Yeah. Come on, bro.
Yeah. History is repeating itself. But anyways, and we all know what happens when humans colonize somewhere. It doesn't end well.
Don't worry about it. So, Mass Effect's got Mass Effect 5 coming out. BioWare's announced that Mass Effect
Yes,
5's coming.
Mass Effect, here's the funny thing. Back in E3, I think it was last year or the year before that, they released a massive trailer. Or teaser, I should say. And I say that because trailers actually tell you something where teasers typically don't. Well, then again, trailers these days typically don't tell you anything either, so. But regardless, there was a massive teaser that came out where. In fact, I probably should have had that linked in the end card. Oh well, whatever. It's not hard to find. Just look up Mass Effect teaser. It's all over YouTube. But regardless. Which basically had this massive shot where they were going through space and you'd hear, overlay dialogue from times, humanity is no longer alone in the universe. It was a very nice teaser. And in the end, it ended with Mass Effect will continue. And it showed a shot of Liara, who was. Mass Effect, because here's the thing BioWare is now owned by EA. EA has a habit of, let's not sugarcoat it, scoop up and screw up. That is the political term, at least. That basically translates to, they'll see a studio with a nice reputation and a good game series, buy it up, force them to screw up to make a massive profit, and then promptly shut down the studio when they stop making profit for obvious reasons. That being, they screwed up their own franchise by EA's directive. We've seen that happen a lot. We see that happen with Visceral Studios, with Dead Space. Dead Space was a decent franchise for the first game. Second game was and then the third game was terrible. And then in the end, they shut down Visceral Studios. So And this is a trend that they've had with a lot of other studios as well. So that's why EA has garnered this kind of reputation of once they buy something, that's the end of it. And many people have been worried for BioWare for quite a while now, because this is not the first time, because they've been in BioWare's hand or EA's hand for quite a while now, and have been forced to put out some middling product under the command of. Also been attributed to BioWare's own misdirection.
No.
Case in point, we have things like Anthem, which was EA's massive attempt to make an MMO all their own, which, EA with an MMO, oh, what could go wrong?
You okay over there?
Apparently, and you did, and
You're all right.
no, I am fine. Why?
You're glitching out a little. You
Oh my
went
goodness,
super
maybe
high
I'll-
pitch there.
Now move this wire so it's maybe not glitching out. Are we good now?
Yeah, you're good right now. It's like
Okay, good.
you just kind of went apparent. Just
That is-
disappeared. You just disappeared. Thanos snapped you
I had a
and
Mickey Mouse
immediately
moment. Wouldn't that be
disappeared. All you
Yeah,
hear is
Mickey Mouse.
"Oh,
Yeah. Oh, I've been taken by the mouse. I've been taken.
got
now
some
I'm gonna get.
dangerous stuff going on. Don't worry about it."
And now we are getting sued by Disney as well. Wow, we're just racking up potential lawsuits today, aren't we?
I didn't say I was mimicking Mickey Mouse, but you said
No,
you
I
were.
did.
You said you
Hey,
were.
I have a stock to Disney, so I can legally justify that because I own 0.01% of their clothes.
My stock exists more than
To do
theirs. You got this,
So-
brother.
So I technically legally own 0.0% of Mickey Mouse, so I can technically do that. Please don't do that at home, children. That's not how stocks work.
Don't worry about
So,
it.
what was I talking about?
Game stuff. Oh, come on. I've done this so many times before.
Oh, yeah, but still. But it's my turn to start.
It's my turn. It's my turn with the microphone. Give it to me. So, yeah. Mass
But that's not what
Effect's, Mass Effect's getting its new game coming out eventually from BioWare. Some news has been circling around about it. What kind of news, Nick?
BioWare. Hmm?
What kind of news?
Well, we have some time. But like I said,
Well, I didn't
Some
say
other-
specifically go to the main news now, but you know.
well,
You're glitching out again.
fine. Am I? What the hell?
Yeah, you're. I don't know.
Hold on, let me just reconnect this mat. Take that real quick. One sec.
We got a whole bunch of technical difficulties going on, folks. Don't worry
This
about
stream is a real mess.
it. Yeah,
Anyways, so we good?
you should be. You got nothing running on your end, right?
No, nothing running on my end.
Okay.
Here, I'll even close down. Just
Yeah.
the random Steam bootstrap. just
Because
to do that.
you've constantly glitched out like multiple times now. I'm thinking you got something going on.
Here, let's just close
Ju-
everything.
Just
The
for
one thing I
safety,
have.
just for safety, I also turned off and all that programs on my end.
So, yeah, everything should be gone. So, where was I? Oh, yes! Anyways. So, Anthem was a complete massive disaster, a good concept, but ended up screwing up. And then Andromeda came out, which was the next Mass Effect game. And don't worry, we're getting to Mass Effect 5 eventually. That was not what everyone expected it to be. Everyone said, oh, it's the next Mass Effect game, it'll be the greatest thing since sliced bread like the original series. Well, it had middling to panning reviews, typically due to the fact that the facial animations themselves looked kinda weird.
Interesting.
Interesting. I still remember that. They even launched a patch just to fix the facial structures for some characters. It was interesting. Personally, like I said, I didn't think it was a bad game by comparison, but about that time, I hadn't played the original 3. Now I have, and I can clearly see why everyone said the originals were better. Regardless, it wasn't a bad game, but again, not enough to break the record sales. EA is typically a studio that doesn't just want some money, they want all the money. So unless you're breaking records, you're not doing hard enough. You're not trying hard enough, I mean. So people are concerned that as of this point, EA, or BioWare, is on a ticking time clock when it comes to EA, because like I said, around this point would be where they shut down a studio for not meeting their obscene demands. Turns out EA has more common sense than that. Who knew? And, have kept BioWare around, and have given them the chance to remaster some of their old hits, including the original 3 Mass Effect games, into one massive collection, which was a massive hit.
Excellent.
This came around the time of the Mass Effect Will Continue teaser that I spoke of earlier. So that brings us back to today, after the original series was released and all that came to be. The remasters came out, excuse me, they worked out beautifully, and now we're all wondering what's next. Well, it turns out the Mass Effect Will Continue wasn't just a reference to the remastering of the original 3 games. It is actually a hint to Mass Effect 5. 5. Andromeda's been screwing with me because it wasn't called Mass Effect 4. But, so yeah, that brings us back to today. Mass Effect 5 teaser. Recently, as of a few days ago perhaps, I think, a poster came out with the words Mass Effect Will Continue on the bottom, again hinting towards Mass Effect 5, and I believe they've even confirmed that it is in development. However, there was some interesting news that came out of that. IGN reported an interesting article saying Mass Effect 5 Shepard's reference was an... Oops. They reported an interesting article that said Mass Effect 5 Shepard will return, kind of thing. So, of course, this has all been corrected now, but essentially what happened was the poster had a description that came alongside it that alluded to Shepard, the main character from the first 3 Mass Effect games, returning to the next game. And while he is a much beloved character, them is a much beloved character. I say that because technically it is an interchangeable character that can go gender and appearance whatever you want. So
there's no real canon like character description of Shepard in Mass Effect, so
yeah. Everyone just calls them
it's not like Fallout 4 where you kind of have like two primary characters. Technically it's either one when it comes to the actual game, but you got something to kind of work with. No, with Mass Effect it's literally like, no, you could have like anyone. It could literally be anyone.
They went even more self-insert than they did with Master Chief. So
yeah. Well, technically, Master Chief's not 100% in self-insert if you went to the comics and books and stuff.
No. Technically,
no,
yes.
Anyone who just plays the game doesn't know that, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, true. But anyways, the original description basically said that... let me see if I can find it. Ah, yes. Here we go. The show goes on. Shepard's final quest may have ended the threat of the Reapers, but at a great cost, including Earth itself. While Shepard and the survivors are left to pick up the pieces, fans are left wondering what's next. Obviously, this has implications that Shepard survived. Here's the problem. He didn't. In fact, of the 3 main endings for the original Mass Effect 3, or Mass Effect 3 in general, the end of Shepard's kind of story arc, 2 of those 3 endings revolve around him. Oh no, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's 2 of the 3 endings. Or 6 now. I've been told there's more in the remastered editions. Haven't finished the 3rd game yet, so I don't know. But anyways, of all the endings, most of them end, and I mean like 99% of them end, with some version of Shepard winding up dead. So it's kind of problematic, especially the canon ending I believe they're rolling with, which is the Unification ending, which ends with Shepard dissolving, literally.
Yeah, so you kind of can't really come back from that unless something really specific happens. And
yeah, like
it's not one of those. Yeah, and it's not one of those like really weird explanations of weird space stuff happened. What kind of space stuff? Explain it to me.
Which, in fairness, in Mass Effect is possible. Mass Effect is a weird universe.
Yeah, there's nothing saying that like some kind of DNA strand, like clone type of thing, could have happened.
Or he just transcended and is now like, freaking Forerunner, like the librarian is now, where she's existing as like this 3rd dimensional being. But no, no. Unfortunately, players' hopes were dashed when the actual game director for Mass Effect 5 came out and said, and this is going to another article. This one is from VG247, who in their article covering the whole mess was, as they say, a mistake. And his actual words were, if I can find it in the article, again, these articles were citing from both IGN, VG, and another one from Games Radar, all in the links below. So if you want to look through them yourself. Oh my goodness, I have to search through this article. Enjoy the gameplay provided by our editor while I do so.
Yes, as we rip and tear on a boss, and then just move on.
Mm-hmm. As is the style for Destiny. Oh my goodness, it wasn't not this article. Ah yes, here we go. According to the game's director, Michael Gamble, the listing for the BioWare Gear Store, which has since been changed, was written by people who run the store and who aren't familiar with the game.
Mm.
Which is kind of a strange thing, considering they run the store for the thing. But, you know, different people, different projects.
You know.
And entirely different divisions sometimes. So, you know. They aren't familiar with the game, so they had no idea of the story. Still a weird thing to write regardless, but according to the game's director himself, Shepard is dead.
So.
This seems to be, and their own words from the article...
like, I could maybe see there being, like, influence from Shepard, like, on certain characters. Like,
oh yeah, his legacy would still certainly be a thing.
there'd probably be like massive amounts of influence even on like characters who never even really actually knew him. But
yeah, and I mean most of the original cast, depending on your choices, survive.
Yes, and that's the other thing is like we know the canon ending on like the main stage, which ending, but we don't know like the little bits and pieces that get you to that ending. Like
true.
We don't know what's the complete outcome, like which, if any characters died, if characters didn't die. And I mean, I have a feeling like how in Mass Effect at one point,
the very
like,
least
if you
they
don't,
tease.
yeah, like I feel like if you don't hurry, like how some of your crew can die, I feel as if the canon ending would have like maybe one or two of your crewmates dead. Like, I have a feeling that kind of thing would probably happen. It's like
maybe like half of them.
Well, not half, but like you got there almost just in time. But like some of your crew was starting to actually die. Like,
and that's, you know, I won't say how that all happened because that's a spoiler for Mass Effect 2 way late into the game, so I won't say anything about that. But anyways.
Well, I mean, it's Mass Effect 2, and we're at almost 5, so. But
still, it's a good series. It should not be spoiled.
No, but like I have a feeling like the canon ending would probably have something to do along the lines of that, maybe, where it's like there was like maybe someone who did get like killed, like you almost got them out in time, but just not quick enough, and they die in your arms or something like that.
Maybe not. We know that Liara was a major tease for the original teaser that started the whole Mass Effect will continue thing, so we can probably at least confirm that she's alive. Also because we know Asari, the race she belongs to, lived for like thousands of years, so regardless of where they put the timeline, she is most definitely still alive. Possibly the Krogan, I can't remember his name, he's probably still alive. I think Krogans live for a pretty long time too, so he's probably still alive. Outside of that, not sure. Maybe, I can't remember all the species names or the characters' actual names themselves, but certainly a few of them would certainly still be kicking around, I imagine, just based on lifespan alone.
Yeah. And I mean, no matter what, if anything, we would be in like kind of the next generation, like the firstborn just after Shepard's death type of thing. So they would relatively know of Shepard very well from those.
I mean,
so even if like the ones who we knew are dead because of time, they'd still be like around.
Oh yeah, like I said, certainly Liara, possibly the Krogan. I can't remember his name. Sorry, I'm just referring to him as the Krogan.
The Krogan.
But the Krogan. But and again, Shepard's legacy would most definitely play a role. There's even an Easter egg to him in Andromeda. And I mean, by the time Shepard ends up dying in some form or another, or living, depending on choices, again, there's like one ending where he does, but that's not the end ending.
No.
He basically ends up, like, the actual ending that is canon is basically him becoming essentially the equivalent of Space Jesus. So, you know, worshipped and revered, and there's statues built of him, and children are being told the story of Shepard, you know. The guy who saved all life in the galaxy. So, you know, a person like that probably isn't going to get forgotten anytime in the near to distant future. Especially considering, from what we can tell in the teaser, the original teaser, the bones of the Reapers, who are a major antagonist throughout the 3 games, that's kind of the overall kind of big bad that's hinted to and really materializes in the 3rd game. Their bones are still littering all around the galaxy, so, you know.
You know.
Well, bones. I say bones. They're actually robots. Giant, like, squid-like robots. It's strange. Think heads of Cthulhu if the heads of Cthulhu could fly and were made of metal. And
Yeah,
were AI.
it's like when you look at them, they're like, oh, this looks biological, but it's not. And then you're like, okay, is it the Reapers then? Yes and no.
Yes and no. Funny enough, it actually turns out their creators, which is the DLC in Mass Effect 3, is like basically looks like them, but are bound to excuse me, are bound to oceans because of their giant size and stuff like that. But the Reapers, since they're machines and AI, could end up flying throughout the galaxy. So, you know, it's strange. Or maybe the creatures themselves are not bound to oceans. But anyways, like I said, Shepard is most likely, if not entirely, not, you know, returning in Mass Effect 5, or at least in a living state. He will most certainly be alive as a form of reference and legacy and stuff like that, but if you're looking to see a living Shepard walk around and you playing a Shepard, I wouldn't put my money on it unless it's like a flashback or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's about the size of it. The poster that was revealed that hinted to Shepard's return is made by people who had no real knowledge of the game itself. Not uncommon for marketing departments, so.
You know.
You know. Don't take everything at face value. Recently, BioWare reiterated the next game in the series, and this is again from the VG article, is in the early development stage and is going to be a while. Or, in their words, quote, be a while. So, don't expect anything till at least 2023 to 4 to 5. So, we know 5 is in the works, but as for when it'll come out, who's to say? Their own admission, it's in the early development stages, so, like I said, don't expect this for at least a few years. Enjoy some Hogwarts Legacy, or, as we were going to cover earlier on today until we changed our minds, Gotham Knights, which actually comes out October this year, so.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Me, I'll be more into the Hogwarts Legacy. I'm hoping for a persona like Harry Potter, but again, that's another video. So yeah.
There you go. Well,
And
that's the BioWare Mass Effect news for you, pretty much.
hopefully BioWare still sticks around and proves with the next Mass Effect that they're actually still good and stuff like that. Again, there's the whole thing you could do of like the relationship EA has had with BioWare, EA's relationship with everything else in general, how nobody likes EA. At least in terms of Activision Blizzard, in their case scenario, they got bought up by Microsoft, which at least has some level of at least foreseen conscience, or at least
Like
supposed
they at
conscience.
least know that actions have consequences, type of thing.
Yeah, so they've probably been curtailed for the most part in terms of greed, I'm assuming. But EA is still very much independent, so
Yes.
the original demon is still alive. Hasn't been exorcised from the game industry just yet. But we can hope.
Yep. And just
You know,
sit, wait, see what happens.
maybe Sony will buy up EA. I don't know. Actually, that might be a terrible idea. Honestly, not for the fact that they would buy it up, but because people are concerned that there's less like independent developers these days.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. There's really like few actual independent developers who are kind of just working on like actually new ideas and new games. And I mean, there are some who like are, but they'll get bought out pretty quickly. And unless it's an idea that the company likes, they tend to just dump it.
yeah. I mean, we had the same problem with Sony when the studio that was Days Gone. Days Gone wasn't a. This is a side topic here, but Days Gone, right? I played the game and I enjoyed it. It wasn't something to write home about, but I enjoyed it, and it has its cult followers. It made its money back, right? And it was a success.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a blockbuster success, which at the time, and from what I'm told, still is, Sony's major thing. They want blockbuster games. They don't want decent successes. They want blockbuster games that break records, right?
Yeah.
So when the studio that made Days Gone is like, hey, we've got the numbers, we've got the fans, can we make a second game? Sony's like, no. Because again, yes, they made their money back, but they didn't make enough money back.
Yeah.
They weren't, massive successes.
Yeah.
And while the studio still wants to.
And Days Gone was actually a nice game.
Yeah. It was an
That
interesting
sucks.
game. For a second, I thought you said about the other thing. But you had a very close relationship with your bike, so,
Yes. The bike is gone.
the bike is gone. No, I must walk. Gods, I must walk.
Yeah, you gotta walk from point A to point B like all the rest of us games that have no fast travel means. No.
Honestly, Days Gone was probably one of the few games I used fast travel in, probably the least, honestly.
Yeah. No,
I don't think it even had a fast travel system.
I
it
think-
physically made you.
No, I think it
I think
may
it
have had
did,
had a fast travel means, but it was very, very, very limited.
It was like it made you being like, you want to go somewhere, you're gonna have to take your bike.
Yeah. And to be honest, I like something
It
like
makes
that
sense.
where it's like if you're gonna have a fast travel feature in a game, make it so that not only time is spent, but like maybe a bit of resource is spent in order to do it. So like if you're gonna fast travel and you have a bike, it's like, okay, well, time is gonna pass and a little bit of your fuel is gonna be used. Do you want to fast travel still? Yes.
I think that's actually what they did, honestly. Like, time would pass and you use fuel, though I might be misremembering.
Maybe. I can't remember that part. All I really remember is just like people riding through the woods and then taking out a shotgun every once in a while. It's like, yes, I am the Terminator.
I am the Terminator, clang clang. It's just roadkill.
Yep.
Roadkill zombie, just cloosh. Man, wouldn't that make Dying Light more interesting? Instead of you parkouring over buildings, you're just like road raging into zombies. Come on, volatile, let's go! Ring ring. Plays chicken with a volatile.
Yes.
But,
Time for bumper cars.
Time for bumper car. Honestly, those streets are so filled with cars in Dying Light that.
You might as well have a bumper car.
Honestly, it's like, yeah, sure, there's no vehicles that still work, but at this point, the roads are so full and so obstructed with like barriers from like the military and cars that just like were parked and left there that it wouldn't even make sense to have a vehicle at this point, unless you have like a vehicle that just like batters into other cars and just pushes them out of the way, like a freaking like tank.
Yeah. Actually, I can't remember what game I'm thinking about for that, but it's like a game does that. It's like, yes, this feels good. This feels right. I can finally go and just push everything out of the way and not be hindered by everything while the mob slowly chases me.
But, yeah, there you go. That's Mass Effect for you. Honestly, I've been wanting to replay it for a little bit now, the remastered edition.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I never played the original 3 back when they were on their Xbox 360 PS3 days. I played the original series back when they made the remastered edition for PS4, which apparently is incomplete and is not the complete series, because apparently one DLC got corrupted, so even the developers can't access it anymore. So one level is lost to time. Oh well. Considering there's like over 80 DLCs, it's not a big loss.
No, it's not like some games where it's like a DLC literally adds in like an entire new area. And it's like, oh yeah, no, this is gone now, and it's wiped from history. Wait, what? All that work gone.
All that work gone. In this case, it was like one level and like a small story mission, so.
Yeah.
Or a side mission, I mean. So, you know, not a big deal.
Not as big of a problem.
Yeah. Though I'm sure completionists are still sweating bullets over that fact.
Don't worry about it. There's already someone who's infiltrated their building looking for the DLC, only to find out that it is truly gone.
It is truly gone. Just a corrupted memory stick that says the DLC was here. They had a eulogy for it and everything, buried the memory stick on the company grounds.
Got a few lit candles, said a few words. They got a small burial site in the back of the building. Just here lies DLC that didn't make it. Didn't make the Great Purge.
It didn't survive the Great Purge. Honestly. I imagine in the case of EA, they have like an entire cemetery full of studios. Nah, it wouldn't be a cemetery, it'd be a fucking mausoleum. Not even a mausoleum, it would just be a wood chipper. They just carve names into.
The DLC is gone.
How dare this company betray us and not make us $2.6 trillion? In the wood chipper it goes. A misuse of resources is a crime, children, and you should be sad if you're laughing at that. But,
you know.
Anyways. That's it for today's episode. We've covered it. We've expanded on it a little bit more than we should. Talked about EA, talked about this, weirdly talked about Days Gone, but whatever.
Well, you know.
These shows are unscripted anyway, so what happens, happens.
Entertainment requires randomness. True random equals entertain.
Are you not entertained?
Only to find true entertainment was not entertain. Ow. Cabal drop pod be like.
I just pictured a guardian having a control drop pod just clunk on their head.
I take magic ball, start running, cabal drop pod be like, no ball for you.
No ball for you.
You don't get shocker ball.
Honestly.
Come on, one of you guys.
Can you imagine just like a cabal drop pod falling on a guardian, the ball just evaporating, a cabal just standing over like a paste of a guardian being like, oh, sorry, buddy. Just being like going on his day.
It's like, oh wow, that was easy. Guardian.
That was an easy kill.
God, no.
Him again. Do you have any idea how much it hurts to have a ball drop on you from orbit?
Do you have any idea how it feels to go into a battlefield knowing that you might die for glory, only to find your opponent got crushed by the means of transportation? You know how dishonoring this is.
Would that be roadkill or would that be space kill?
I wouldn't say it's roadkill. It's basically the equivalent of an ODST drop pod going and hitting like a grunt or an elite. So,
which I'm sure has happened.
Yeah. Or you're playing Halo Reach and you're playing the I forget the mission. I think it's not Tip of the Spear. I don't know. It's the one mission where you're going up a beachhead just to go and get into a facility that you could have just flown to in the first place to go into a ship to go to space. But during the beach assault, Covenant drop pods are dropping in, and if you're fast enough, you can actually get crushed by one. So
if you're fast enough, you can get killed by one.
Yeah, so, you know.
Oh my goodness. So it doesn't pay. It doesn't always pay to be speedrunners, kid. Remember that.
It doesn't. Unless you know are an actual true speedrunner and memorized all position, all spawn points, and everything.
Can you imagine being a speedrunner, almost breaking the record of I believe it was Halo Reach you were citing that game. And you're like, I've almost won. I've almost won. After this, I'll have finally broken the record. Clunk. Gets hit in the head with a drop pod. No,
It's
my
like
no kill
I
run
would have.
speed run.
Yeah, it's like I would have gone and speed run an extra like 3 minutes, going and cutting down so much time. Meanwhile, the game not anymore.
Yeah, it's like, not anymore. There goes your speed run. No, Bungie.
You did this to me.
You did this to me. But anyways, that's today's show, kids. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the show. Like, subscribe, comment. Hey, we want to see them subscribers. We've only got 12 subscribers. I want to see 15 or 20 or anything more than 2 digits would be nice. I'll settle for 100 at this point.
Yes.
And then I'll settle for 200, and then 300 after that. But anyways.
Well,
Like,
if you do truly enjoy the content, leave a comment or a like. It does let us know that you're interested, and we'll keep it going. Even
if you don't enjoy the content, subscribe anyway.
and honestly, if you actually find anything that you think would be good news information for anyone, let us know. Because you never know, we might just be able to cover it for you.
Yep. At this point, we read all the comments because we don't get any comments, so there's a very short list. So, yep, that's the show, kids.
That's the show, everyone.
Feel like freaking Krusty the Clown or something. That's the show, kids. But
hey, kids.
Worst role model ever. But anyways,
you don't want that.
You don't want that. But from 2 bedrooms in 2 very different cities, I'm Nick. That's Justin over there, and from the Mandarin Kapoor, as always, good night.